Hello and welcome to DCS A10. This short video I'm going to demonstrate how to use mark points from within the cockpit to generate a new flight plan, which can be displayed on the TAD, and we can follow through our sequence of steer points. So the first thing I've got to do is I've got to start up the aircraft, so I'll be back with you in a couple of moments. Okay, welcome back. I've just a couple more pre-flight checks to complete, and the first one I'm going to do is to load up the data from the data cartridge by clicking the Load All button. You can see the indicator dot has gone, and when we come back to that and look at it in a second, we can reset it. So I'm going to switch on the anti-skid, and finally our EAC. If we close the canopy, we'll have a little more quietness. Okay, our upload is complete, and we can now select the pages we want to view on the MFDs. So on the left hand side I'm going to choose the TAD, and on the right hand side I'm going to choose the CDU. One final task to be completed is to finish the INS alignment sequence by clicking on the nav button. Now that that's done, we're going to return to the TAD page, and I'm going to make it the SOY by clicking on it once again. We're now going to create several mark points which are going to be used as a basis of our flight plan, and the first one we're going to use is our existing location, because that's the starting point. And the way we do this is we click to the right a short TMS, target management switch. So I'm going to do that once, and we can check that that's done correctly by looking at the right MFD, and we can see our mark point has been entered. So if we go back over here, I'm going to use the DMS switch to zoom out a little bit so that we can make our flight plan. And the first thing we do is we need to move our cursor to the location for our set point. So once that's done, we click the TMS to the right once again, and that selects the second mark point B, and so on. So we're going to do two more. We're going to make our third one down here, and we're going to do a final one back where we started. So we now should have A, B, C and D mark points. You can see our final one is the D mark point. Once we've done all that, I'm going to now move on to our IGI panel, center our pit there, and we're going to now select the flight plan marker button by clicking the flight plan marker switch below the panel. And you can see there's an existing flight plan in there, which is our default. Now we're going to create a second one. We enter in the name for our second flight plan, and we'll call it Test 1. Once we've created the name, we now enter it as flight plan number 2. Once we've got that flight plan in, I'm going to select the new flight plan called Test 1 from the right hand side, and now we're going to insert our waypoints. The first one we're going to insert is the mark point A. Click A, and we enter it in as waypoint number 1, B as waypoint 2, C as waypoint 3, and to enter in number 4 we've got to move down to the next page, enter D, and that's it. We now have our flight plan inserted, and we can go back to the previous page, or we can actually go to our waypoint page, which is one of the default pages. So once that's done, the final thing I need to do is to change the steer point switch to the flight plan mode. And now we can look back at our TAD screen, and we can see we have our nav points on the TAD screen. You can see we have A, which is where we started, B, C, and back to D. You can zoom out at those if we need to see them more easily, more clearly, and we can cycle through those in the normal way. There's a number of different ways we can cycle through them. I can change SOI to the HUD and use the DMS switch to cycle through them, or I can use the rocker switch on the UPC panel, or I can use the toggle switch on the EGI panel. So that describes how to create a new flight plan from mark points. Thank you.